Let's talk about the fastest rise and the fastest fall this side of a TikTok trend. Imagine buying a $30 beat off YouTube, recording vocals in your sister's closet, and accidentally creating the longest running #1 single in Billboard history. Now imagine a few years later, you're wandering down Ventura Boulevard in cowboy boots and underwear, and people can't tell if it's a PR stunt or a breakdown. That's not fiction, that's the syllabus of Lil Nas X. The internet crowned him king, and then laughed as the throne crumbled beneath him. His story isn't just about horses in the back, it's about the cost of virality, the trap of trolling, and what happens when the class clown runs out of jokes. So sharpen those pencils, students. Today's lecture is a masterclass in how to fly too close to the sun on a meme-powered rocket ship and what it looks like when the fuel runs out. Picture this, a kid in Atlanta, broke, hustling memes on Twitter for clout, scrolling through YouTube beats like he's digging through a bargain bin at Goodwill. He stumbles on a twangy banjo loop from a Dutch producer selling instrumentals for $30, the price of a Chipotle burrito and guac. That's what destiny costs. He sets up in his sister's closet, because who needs Abbey Road when you've got hangers and mothballs, and records a track about cowboy hats, horses in the back, and lean in the sack. Half joke, half fantasy, but all vibes. The lyrics were simple, the hook was unforgettable, and the beat was sticky. Old Town Road wasn't just a song, it was a meme disguised as a track, an algorithm virus engineered to infect every feed, every timeline, every middle school dance. But here's where Lil Nas X played chess while everyone else was playing Candyland. He didn't just upload the track and hope, he planted it. He seeded TikTok with over 100 memes, building momentum before anyone knew his name. He gamed the algorithm, turned the Yeehaw challenge into a wildfire, and rode the flames. All of a sudden, suburban kids were dressing like cowboys, influencers were galloping in their living rooms, and even NBA players were stomping into arenas wearing hats straight out of Party City. The song was unstoppable. Then came the controversy. Billboard pulled Old Town Road from the country charts, saying it wasn't country enough. The decision sparked outrage, ignited think pieces about race and genre, and gave the song even more visibility. Enter Billy Ray Cyrus, hopping on the remix like a divorced dad crashing prom and giving it mainstream legitimacy. Suddenly, the track wasn't just viral, it was a cultural event. From there, the floodgates opened. Diplo dropped his version. BTS's RM jumped on. Even Mason Ramsey, the Walmart yodeling kid, got his moment. Every corner of the internet had its own Old Town Road remix. For 19 weeks, the longest run at #1 in Billboard history, Lil Nas X wasn't just topping the charts, he was the chart. This wasn't just a hit, it was a takeover. The cowboy emoji, the yeehaw memes, teachers blasting it at school assemblies, grandmas two-stepping on Facebook videos. For one summer, America was a cowboy country. But here's the cruel thing about virality. It's nitro fuel. It blasts you into orbit, but it doesn't keep the rocket afloat. TikTok crowned Lil Nas X in 2019, but TikTok moved on. By 2023, the platform's algorithm was busy launching Ice Spice, Pink Pantheress, and Tyla. The meme-fueled rocket ship that lifted him into history came with an expiration date stamped on the crown. Here's the thing about explosions. They light up the sky, but they also leave smoke. For Lil Nas X, Old Town Road wasn't just a debut single, it was the most radioactive debut of all time. And when your very first move breaks Billboard records and wins Grammys, congratulations, you've just built yourself a prison made out of fireworks. How do you follow up the longest running #1 in history? His first attempt, the EP7, gave us Panini, a solid track, but nobody was rushing to Spirit Halloween for cyberpunk outfits to make TikToks. The lightning wasn't striking twice. Critics began to wonder, was he a one-trick pony? But Lil Nas X leaned into the pressure instead of hiding from it. He came out publicly as gay during Pride Month 2019, right at the peak of his fame. That was bold. hip-hop and country weren't exactly cozy havens for queerness. But he doubled down on authenticity, signaling he wasn't just the cowboy meme guy. Then came Montero, Call Me By Your Name. If Old Town Road was a yeehaw fantasy, Montero was a flaming sword dropped in the middle of culture wars. The video, lap dancing on Satan in thigh-high boots, sliding down a stripper pole from heaven to hell, sent conservatives into cardiac arrest and Twitter into overdrive. It wasn't just a song, it was a provocation, and it worked. Montero shot to #1, and suddenly Lil Nas X wasn't the cowboy kid anymore. He was pop's troll king. Industry Baby with Jack Harlow kept the heat going with a prison yard music video that was half workout fantasy, half metaphor for breaking out of his own box. But here we go again. In proving he wasn't a one-hit wonder, he built himself a new cage, the expectation of a spectacle. The world wasn't listening for music, they were waiting for the next stunt. Every release had to be a headline. Here's a pop quiz. What's the difference between a troll and a pop star? Answer: trolls don't have to put out albums. For a while, Lil Nas X blurred that line perfectly. He tweeted like a comedian, marketed like a meme lord, and dropped songs that doubled as cultural flashpoints. But eventually, the jokes felt recycled. The audience started looking for someone new to laugh at. After Montero and Industry Baby, the hits slowed. Singles like Late to the Party barely cracked the charts. Star Walkin', a League of Legends promo, worked for gamers, but not the mainstream. Without giant Satan poles or meme-ready shock, the music didn't stick. Then came the silence. No album in 2023, long gaps between releases, social media posts that felt erratic. Fans wondered, had the internet moved on? And then the image spiral. Paparazzi caught him wandering LA, half dressed in cowboy boots and underwear. Some called it art, some called it a cry for help. Most just made memes. For the first time, the internet was laughing at him, not with him. Let's zoom out for a second. Lil Nas X isn't just a character study, he's a case study. Virality looks magical. One day you're sleeping on your sister's couch, the next you're breaking records. But virality doesn't build foundations, it builds flash floods. The same crowd that lifts you up can swipe left the next day. Labels don't nurture artists anymore, they hunt for the biggest meme, pour gas on it, and move on. Lil Nas X thrived in that system for a while. The Montero rollout was genius, but once you've twerked on Satan, you can't follow up with an acoustic ballad. Escalation is the tax of virality, and when you stop escalating, the algorithm says you're irrelevant. That's the cost. Virality makes you a caricature. For Lil Nas X, he became the cowboy kid and then the Satan lap dance guy, a whole person flattened into memes. What happens when the meme runs out, but the artist is still here? Lil Nas X has options. He's young, he's charismatic, he's still a symbol for queer visibility in pop music. Legacy doesn't have to mean topping the charts forever. It could mean redefining success. Smaller tours, fashion, acting, activism. But the counter-argument is brutal. Algorithms don't care about your resumes. They only care about your last upload. And topping yourself after sliding down a stripper pole into hell? Nearly impossible. So survival for him might not mean dominance. It might mean refusing to disappear. When the pop textbooks are written on the 2020s, Lil Nas X won't be a footnote, he'll be a case study. He proved the internet could create a superstar without old gatekeepers. He showed the power of spectacle, but also its traps. His story is the warning label on virality. It gives, it takes, and it burns. The final lesson, the future of pop isn't about who sings best, it's about who can ride the chaos of the feed without being destroyed by it. Lil Nas X wasn't just a pop star, he was the experiment.